We continue here our CPAC 2022 coverage at Townhall Media's special booth here on Media Row. And, we'd love to talk about the conservative movement and politics, but Vladimir Putin sort of, threw a wrench into most of our conversations today. KT McFarland is with us, of course, the former Deputy National Security Advisor in the Trump administration, but your cred in foreign policy and national security issues goes all the way back to literally Henry Kissinger.
Yes.
So thank you for being here to sort of shed some light on this.
Thank you.
What are we to do? Because I just saw the president's remarks and I'm left uninspired about where we stand and what is to be done.
It's been a long time in making, so the fixing of it will be a long time too. Ukraine, the fate of Ukraine was sealed a year ago, and Vladimir Putin can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants with Ukraine.
A year ago when Biden moved us away from energy independence.
It's all about energy. Remember, it's all about energy. If oil and natural gas prices are high, Vladimir Putin's rich. He has a great military, he's emboldened, but also because he supplies 50% of the energy to Europe, he has a massive economic and political leverage over Europe. So with regard to Ukraine, there's nothing we can do alone. We're not going to send in the Marines, and there's very little economically we can do alone. It's all about getting the European nations together with us.
What do you say to, there are a lot of Americans, a lot of conservatives who say, not our problem. Why should we care?
Isn't our problem? Here's the thing, when President Trump went into the Oval Office, I was in the Oval Office with him, and the German Chancellor calls, and first question, what are you going to do about Ukraine? Donald Trump, what are you going to do about Ukraine? It's in your neighborhood, not
God,
mine.
I could see him doing that too.
And that's the crux of the issue, is what are the Europeans willing to do? I mean, Germany, for example, 50% of its energy comes from Russia.
Yeah.
They know that. They know they're dependent. They've disarmed. I mean, Germany doesn't even have 100 tanks that are operational.
Wow.
So there's no military capability there, and there's no willingness to do much of an economic pressure.
Which, by the way, Trump was also sort of insistent on, saying,
you guys
doing it. We're spending all this money to defend you.
And then you're going to make economic deals with Russia.
Right.
Makes no sense. I mean, if Donald Trump were president, nobody wants to predict what he would say, but he always understood, and he taught the rest of us, energy is the key to all of it. High energy prices, Russia's rich. Low energy prices, we're in terrific shape. Providence has given us the greatest resource, oil and natural gas, riches, more than any other country or region in the world. We should use it.
And by the way, that's the world that Joe Biden inherited 13 months ago.
Threw it away.
Yeah, and threw it away. All right, so let me ask you that. Ukraine, of course, is not part of the NATO alliance.
Correct.
Poland is.
Yeah.
I'm hearing a lot of people. Boy, have we seen so many people over the last decades rationalizing America's involvement in overseas military activities, but I don't think I've ever seen anything this thin. They're saying that a cyber attack against Ukraine that could affect Poland is an Article 5 violation. That then automatically, I mean, seriously, but
Germany won't even want it, Poland won't even want to do that. One of the problems, though, with the whole cyber warfare is we don't have an idea of what is a cyber attack. It's the perfect weapon, because you don't necessarily know, did it really come from Russia, or did it really come from a false flag from another country? So the difficulty with any cyber attacks is who did it, how did they do it, and why did they do it? And those questions aren't asked.
Almost, and very hard to figure out, too. If they're good, they cover their tracks.
There's no return address on these cyber attacks.
I know you've been sitting in the Fox News chair pretty much all afternoon giving instant reaction to this, so I'd really appreciate you giving us your expertise. Real fast, I know that you and Gordon Chang have been talking here at CPAC quite a bit. He, the expert, certainly on China. And how do they factor into this? Because they're actually enabling Vladimir Putin and Russia too. This is a real unholy alliance.
So at the very beginning of the Olympics, the two countries, China and Russia, signed a joint statement. Nobody paid any attention to it. I was pulling my hair out. The joint statement said that we have no limits to our cooperation. And in the document itself, long document, obviously many months in the making, the Chinese said to the Russians, you have the right to your territorial integrity and you're near abroad. In other words, Russia, go wherever you want. Go wherever you want.
Yeah.
And the Russians returned the favor. And they said, you have a right to your greater China. Go wherever you want. So
that means
cut
Taiwan.
the deal. That means Taiwan. So they cut the deal. So China looks at Russia now, and the next couple of days will unfold. Do the Russians get Ukraine easily? Is it hard? Is it complicated? What does the world do? Because China's thinking maybe this is our moment too. 1-2 punch.
All right, last question. Because you're very fair. You obviously you're a partisan. You're a Republican. You ran for Senate in New York years ago. You have a certain perspective, but you're also fair and you're willing to give credit where credit's due. When you look at Biden's team, who do you think is the best among them? Is there somebody that you say, okay, at least I have respect for that person?
It's all the same group thing.
Yeah.
They're all living in the past. They're all living in the era where the United States could dictate to the world. Those days are gone, and they've not adjusted to that. And they're stunned and shocked that other countries are real bullies and are taking advantage of perceived weakness.
KT McFarland, she's absolutely indispensable, especially on days like this and times like these. KT, thank you for being with us today.
Pleasure. Thanks, Larry.